And we're about to go live.
Okay, you want that instead?
Okay, we are live now. Claudia, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm just going to mute Claudia until she comes back.
I can, I'm here.
Oh, okay, yeah, just do me a favor. If you step away, and that's fine, do what you have to do. Just mute yourself so we don't get a lot of the background noise. Okay, guys, well, first of all, welcome to the Hangout. I'm happy that we're doing it on a Saturday and not a Sunday. I know Sunday might be easy for some of you guys, but at least this way you'll have your Sunday free this week. So there are a couple of things that, and I don't know how much ground we're going to cover. We'll do as much as we possibly can, and again, I don't want this to run too terribly long. So I'm going to try and stick to the agenda that I sent to you guys. I'm sure we're not going to get through each of those topics, but we'll get through whatever we can, and then pick up where we leave off next week. So there are a couple of things that I want to do, and the first one, Tamara, I guess is more for you at this point, unless you basically worked out the issue. Last week I made a brief video with Google+, just as far as creating events and really just connecting with people. So some of you may have seen it, some may have not. Some of you may already have been on Google+, so you know your way around. Some may be new to Google+, but it's a great platform, especially for creating events and connecting with people. And the nice thing about that is that you're connecting with, we talk about basically having feeder content and ways to get people into your community. This is a great way to do that because it's very easy to connect with people, and it's fairly easy to transition them over to Facebook. And once you become, then you can certainly go through all the other things that we've discussed, and you can easily, get them into your, well, maybe not easily, but you certainly have a better than average chance of getting them into your community, and then going through all the steps to really take the conversation to the next level and hopefully, get them to join your business or MLSP or any of that good stuff. So I'm going to do a screen share, and we're going to go through Google+. And if you guys have any questions whatsoever, just unmute yourself and ask. But first, I just want to make sure that we're on Google+. So can you guys now see my Google+ profile?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Very good. All right, so first I'm going to open it up, Tamara, to you to see if you have any questions, because I know that last week you had asked me in terms of the little video that I did put together, that your version, and just like with Facebook changing algorithms all the time, Google Plus does the same thing. They change the platform, they change the look. So, if I make a video and I'm showing you that this is the way it looks now, your version may be different, or if I send you to a video that somebody made 2 years ago, when you log on, it may be different, so you may not be able to see the same thing that you might have been looking at the video. So if you want to unmute yourself and have any questions at all as far as creating circles and placing people in circles, or any other question you might have, ask away.
Finding the target market, who to go. I looked up internet marketing that has over 207,000 people in it, but like, do I just go and friend everybody and anybody? However, it doesn't give me any suggestions at all, so I'm like totally lost. I went and added 100 people, but I went to follow 100 people, but it doesn't look like that at all. When I go even into the group, and trying to find the right group to go in to friend people.
Okay. Well, one of the things you can do, Google Plus is certainly set up a little bit differently. I haven't really done the same kind of a search. I mean, the search graph that they have in Facebook makes it so easy, to number one, to find groups that, maybe people will share a common interest, or to find groups where, that resonates with, your niche, that type of thing. Google Plus, I haven't really used the search capabilities, so I'm not really sure exactly how that works. But, I mean, I've got a bunch of people following me. Certainly, just like with anything else, a lot of them, probably most of them, in all honesty, probably are not going to be targeted and aren't going to be network marketers. But what I try to do is, when you're making new friends, and even if you're, just basically, going with the Google Plus suggestions, usually if you click on the person's profile, like over here, I happen to know Frank. He is a friend on Facebook. So you can at least go over here, go to the basic profile, and just look at what he says over here. Works at local business marketing solutions. You can get a very good indication from that as to whether they're a network marketer or an online marketer of some type. And once you've determined that, and this is going to take a little bit of work, but not all that much time. You do a little bit, just like, we talk about making 10 to 15 new Facebook friends a day. Maybe on alternate days, you might want to go in and make 10 to 15 new Google Plus friends and add them to your circle. So in a case like this, I see Frank is not currently in my circle, but I know that he's a marketer. So one of the things I would do, if you don't already have a circle created, you can certainly, right from his profile, you can go over here, you can go down to the bottom, create new circle, and there's another way to do that, and you can actually go in and you can create a circle. If you already have a circle created, like I do, and let's say I just want to drop him right now into friends. So now I'm going to put him in friends. He's now one of my friends. So when I create an event, what I'm going to do is invite people. So you can invite people based upon the list or the circle that you have. So once I click on invite people to my event and I click on friends, it's going to open up, a dialog box for my 645 or whatever friends that it is in that particular circle, and invite them all. So I've tried to go through all of my circles and eliminate people that really aren't in the industry. And I have a lot of friends, have a lot of people to cull through. But if you're doing this, from the beginning, from the start, and you're first building your friends list, I would try and determine right from the start who's an online marketer, who's a network marketer, even an affiliate marketer, just right from their profile over here, and become friends with them and segment it into different circles.
Okay, because I was watching another video and he's saying going in there and just click and add everybody, add, no matter what. And so you're saying don't do that. You're saying send them the private message, or when you friend them, you can send them private message and stuff like that, just like we do in Facebook.
Yeah, I try personally to use it a lot like I use Facebook, because using Facebook I've gotten great results, and it's always worked very, very well. So if you have a situation where you have a method that you're using that works, I wouldn't stray too far from that same type of a method. And you can use Google Plus in a similar fashion. And I definitely don't believe, whether it's Facebook or whether it's Google Plus or LinkedIn or any platform, just to indiscriminately go out there and friend people, because what we're going to talk about shortly when we go into the next topic, we're going to be talking about finding your target market and things like that. I mean, you want to have that, like Gavin talks about in his training. You want to have a message to market match, and that's very, very important, because you want your content to resonate, and you want to attract the right people that you can speak to in their own language. And if you just go out there and you just follow, and then they'll follow you back, and you have 1,000 people or thousands of people in your circles, but you're creating posts and sending content out or inviting them to a webinar, 99% of them aren't going to be the slightest bit interested. So what I try to do, and which I'm in the process of doing, is cleaning up a lot of that, because when I first joined Google Plus, that's what I did. I just went out there and I just, friended as many people as I could, and found out later on that was definitely not the best way to go about it. So I'm in the cleanup process. So I don't want you guys to have to do that after the fact. So as you're starting out, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel, and you don't have to spend hours and hours and hours. Maybe a couple of days a week, just go in and add some friends, and like I said, just run over to their profile real fast, and you can see if they're marketers that somebody that at least would possibly resonate with your the kind of content you're putting out. If either they're network marketers, online marketers, internet marketers, affiliate marketers, any of those things will be fine. And then after you become friends, then basically what you can do at that point is if you hover over here, the Hangout, and you click on Hangout, or you can do it right from their profile page also. Let's see, let's just go back to his profile. Whoops, hold on one second. There, okay. So now sometimes you have to send an invite. Okay, so to start a conversation with Frank, I have to actually send an invite. He may get back to me in an hour, could be a day, it could be a week, it could be a month, it could be a year, who knows. But you can send an invite. So let me just find somebody that I'm already friends with that actually, so I can just show you very quickly how that works. So here are some of my previous conversations, my hangouts that I'm currently having. Here's one with somebody I've known for a long time, with Donna. Okay, so all you have to do is, if you click on the little hangout, the little circle icon over there, and click on it, it's going to open up the hangout. Now, I've had a lot of conversations already with Donna, and in your case, it might be an initial conversation. So you can just use the same type of thing as a conversation starter. And one of the things that I do, I'll tell them, just like you would with Facebook, where you're going to look at their profile to try and find out a little bit more about them. You essentially can do the same thing with Google+. Try to find out a little bit more about them from their profile. And if you see that they're an online marketer of any type, I just send them a brief, very brief message like I do on Facebook for an initial message to start the conversation. I see that we're both online marketers, great to connect with you. I'd like to connect with you over at Facebook as well, and give me your Facebook profile. You don't have to give them, that's a little bit, less, blatant, let's say, than inviting, giving them a link to your community. So I would start with just trying to get them to become a friend on Facebook. And once you move them over to Facebook, then in your conversations, then of course you're going to welcome them as a new friend to Facebook. Then you're going to add them, you're going to ask them if they want to join your community. And then, once you have the permission, then of course send them a link. But just to try and transition them right from Google Plus to your community on Facebook is not going to work, certainly, the vast majority of the time. So one step at a time. So it's easy to transition them, and I get a lot of people that join me over on Facebook, and then I'm able to start a conversation there. So that's what I would suggest as far as that's concerned. And as far as just creating, just to show you guys again, the other option, if you want to create a circle, if you just go to your circles tab over there, the little plus sign over there is where you can actually create a new circle. That's one of your other options. So if I were to do that, then you can just create a circle, and then, at that point, it's easy, just as you're making new friends or as you're following people, just to drop them into a circle. And it works in a similar way to Facebook, because what you're doing is, with Facebook, you're sending a friend request. And it might take a while until they're on Facebook and they actually accept your friend request. Same thing with Google+. Just because you put them in your circle doesn't mean that they're immediately going to reciprocate. But a lot of them, the vast majority of them probably will, and then they'll be available. So when you create a Facebook event, for instance, at least this way you'll have somebody else that will receive an invite and may decide to attend your event. And then you treat it pretty much the same way that we do on Facebook. So it's one more platform that can be very, very powerful. I still think, most of your time and energy and effort should go into Facebook and your community, but you can certainly still utilize Google+, even if it's just for creating, getting people, friending people, and creating events. Posting content, nice thing about it, because you can, it's easy to get very good SEO results with your search engine results when you're using the Google Plus platform, because if you do a post, you can also tag it with a hashtag very easily, and then it shows up in the search results because it's Google property. So if you want to be, if you want your content to be seen on the first page, and I have things that I posted on Google Plus, months and years ago, that when I do a search for a particular target keyword on Google, it comes up on the first page of the searches. So it's great to do posts on Google because it's very, very search engine friendly. So anyway, I'm coming back to the Hangout now and ending the screen share. Oh, well, before I end the screen share, do you guys have any other questions as far as Google Plus is concerned?
No, I was gonna tell Tamara that just to kind of help her, and I don't know if you guys have seen in my group, I have been going over the importance of defining your avatar, your target market, your niche, and I have some more training. It's from Gavin, and it goes over the 2 types of prospects and the questions and the wording that you use for each different prospect, because you will confuse them if you use like advanced wording for, say, internet marketers. You wouldn't speak to them the same way that you talk to network marketers. You know, things like that. And I have some really good, like I said, outlines that define each one. Tamara, and I'll send that to you.
Okay, thank you. I mean, I'm not even to the point of talking to anybody yet. I'm just trying to build, you know, because right now I'm just, I don't know what to talk about yet. That's still the next thing.
Yeah, and
But
that's
I'm just
fine.
trying to get ways to get people into my community.
Yeah, Claudia, that's excellent that you made that offer. And as a matter of fact, one of the things we're going to be talking about in this Hangout today is, you know, in addition to, you know, defining your target market, you know, one very, very big aspect and very, very big part of that is your perfect avatar, your perfect prospect, and really drilling down and really defining that. So we will be talking about that. And as far as having conversations and everything, that's again where the scripts that, you know, I spoke about earlier will certainly come into play and really help you so that you will have the right questions to ask and you will know what to say to somebody. And, you know, again, like Claudia had mentioned, you know, you have a different conversation with an internet marketer that you would with an affiliate marketer than you would with, you know, another marketer, you know, whether it's, you know, network marketing, affiliate marketing, internet marketing. Yeah, it's a different conversation, different questions. And when you have the right questions and you have some sort of a guideline and a script for it, it makes matters a lot easier. So you will definitely, between Claudia's offer and if we can get you those script books that we were talking about and, you know, all the other things as we go through the training and we get to creating content and the rest of the 6 steps, it's going to all crystallize. It's all going to become much more clear for you.
Tamara, are you part of Gavin's group? Do you do any of his, you know, training?
I haven't purchased it, no, but I am gone through the training on his website.
Okay, and if you look
but
in
it's
my
very basic.
yeah, and if you look in my files, I think that I have all of the 6
Can't
steps.
get into your file.
Huh? I can't hear you.
Yeah, Tamara, can you just
cannot.
repeat what you mentioned before to Claudia? I think you said that you couldn't get into the files in Claudia's group.
Right. If I go to her group, the word files does not appear. I cannot see her files.
Yeah, I
I still cannot see your files.
Okay, what I can do, send me your email, you know, in a private message, and like I said, I have all of his 6 steps there in my files, and what I can do is I will email them to you. Like if you want, once a week I will send you a step that you can work on. They're really good. Okay. You know, then if you have any questions, you can put it to me or the group or Mark or, you know, anybody who's done his you know, the 6 steps. So I can offer that to you too, and I can send them to you in like I said, in an email, and I think that's going to help you out a lot. That's what I did in the beginning and you can ask Mark. Mark's been with me, I mean, like almost through day 1 that when I started this, and I literally sunk myself into research. And I'm an extreme note taker. Like I said, I'm anal about that. So, you know, I know I can copy and paste, but I don't do that. I have to write things down for them to absorb. So I have a ton of these notes. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of pages because I literally spent the first 3 months, and you can ask Mark, researching.
Yeah, I mean, something like that, Claudia, can certainly be very helpful, and I know that you've really, you know, delved into it and you've done a great job. Because Tamara doesn't have the actual course yet, it's great if we can get her that information. I know one of the things that Tamara's doing is, you know, utilizing a lot of the training from Gavin's blog also, where the content is great. And it's, you know, even though we're at a certain stage where, let's say, we haven't even started step 1 yet, there's certainly no problem with anybody who's progressed beyond that point. Obviously, you know, you don't want to wait months to get going and to create the content and to have the conversations and to, you know, to create the engagement. So certainly anybody who's got the course, has access to any kind of training material, you know, go ahead, start implementing immediately. But by the same token, what we'll do here in the training group is any questions you have at any point along the way from step 1 to step 6 and anything in between, because you may be at a different point already. You know, once we start talking about step 1, you may already be on step 2 or 3 or 4, and that's great, and you've already started implementing a lot of that stuff, which is fabulous. However, if I want us all to be on the same page. I want us all to get the best results possible. So this is, a venue. This is a platform where we can all, ask questions so that we're all on the same page and really understand it to the fullest, possible, way, and also be able to get the best possible results. So any questions, this would be a great, obviously the Hangout is the time to ask those questions, so we make sure that we're all following the steps and we all understand the steps and why we're doing it. So, that's certainly something that, Tamara, getting access through Gavin's blog or through some of Claudia's notes will certainly be helpful, but by the same token, you can take it, at a different pace also. You can do this at your own pace. There's no right way to do this, no wrong way to do this. So, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed is basically what I'm saying. So, go at your own pace.
Well, you've seen my content. I mean, you commented on my content. My content, I think, is good as far as creating it. I just don't know what to do with it. I stick it in my group, and that's it. I got 30 people maybe in my group or 39 people in my group. Okay, fine, but I need to get people to see my content. So that's where I'm stuck. What do I do with it? Do I go and blast it over in every group? And then, of course, a lot of people won't look at it anyway. So I just don't know what to do with the content I've got created that's just in my blog, that's just in my community. Or is my focus just to bring people into my community? But it seems like trying to do it one by one and connecting with people and asking to join, it just seems like there's got to be an easier way for people to see my content to attract them to me instead of me going to one and one and one and one and one. See what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
So that's where I'm stuck. I don't know how to get people to look into my group. I don't know where to post. I don't know what to do to get people to see my.
Tamara, if you scroll down in my group, the Online Dreamers group, you will see the 6 steps, because I posted them a month ago. So even though you can't access my files, start with step 1, and it's really gonna help you with your confusion. I can hear the frustration in your voice. I was there once too, but I'm telling you, if you do this step by step, don't skip. Do exactly what they tell you to do, and I'm telling you, all of a sudden you will start getting people. I had 20 people in my group, Mark, 3 months ago. I now have 120 because I'm doing this. But like I said, scroll down in my group and you will see the steps. Once a week I posted it, and it's pretty, it's pretty defined, and I think that there's good information in there that will help you get started to get people to join your group. Because just advertising in all these groups and posting your links and doing that, you're spamming and you're turning people off. The best way
that's why I haven't done
it. Gavin's teaser method, where you tease people. You want to make them click your link and go to your group. That's what you want. You don't want to give away everything and then go, hey, come join my group. Well, you've already given them everything. Why would they go there? So you tease them, and then they want to click the link. And then if you have good information, which you do, I've seen your group, they'll want to join. And that's how I get them to.
Yeah, that's, let me just jump in also, Tamara, before you, and then you can ask whatever you want. And that's great information, Claudia. Thank you. But I think I'm getting the feeling, and Tamara, definitely you'll be getting more people. You have 38 now. Next week you may have 48, 58. The numbers will grow. It's a process. It does not happen overnight. And I also feel your frustration. And I think the thing that you're really asking is, even for the 38 people that you have in your group now, how do you get them to engage? I mean, it's not even so much a matter of bringing new people in, because you will be able to do that, but you certainly want to get the people that are already in there to engage. And as your numbers grow and as you get more people into your group, with anything else, it's the 80-20 rule. You're not going to always get 100% of the people that are going to respond. Part of it is what Claudia had mentioned. You have to have a teaser post. You have to have an pure engagement post. Certain types of content, and you do have great content in your group, but you've got to mix it up. Certain types of content I'll put in my group, and I think it's awesome, off-the-charts content, and I won't get anybody leaving any comments or making any shares or even liking it for that matter, because sometimes maybe it'll be too long, maybe it'll be something that people aren't seeing in the first place because of the lovely Facebook algorithms, which is why I also suggested maybe utilizing Google+. Their algorithms are different and probably not quite as restrictive, but it's a matter of mixing up the types of content. So with the right type of mix, you will get engagement, and even if it's, let's say, 10% of the people in your group that engage, as you get more people in your group, when you get to 100 people and 200 people, then you're going to be getting 10 to 15 to 20 people responding. And once somebody responds and replies, then it stays in your news feed longer, or it goes back into your news feed. So the problem right now, especially at the early stages of having a community, is just getting people to see your content, whether they're in your group already or whether it's just going into the news feed. But once, and that's why it's important for all of us to support one another and to go in when we see you posting, go in and comment, because if it's out of the news feed, once I make a comment or a like on a piece of content that you posted, it's going to go back into the news feed. And once it's back in the news feed, more people have an opportunity to see it, including your community members. And when your community members start commenting, again, then more people will jump on the bandwagon and comment, and more people will see it in the news feed. So right now, unfortunately, in the early stages of building up those numbers, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, which is why, you know, we all have to make a concerted effort, which I know that we have been and will continue to go out there and to make sure that we comment, so then other people in your group will. And again, it's a matter of mixing up the type of content that you put out there. And if you go to my profile, on my Facebook profile, you'll see some of the teaser posts that I put out there, or even go to the other communities, you know, whether it's Claudia's or any of the other ambassadors, see the type of content that they're posting. And, you know, Nicole Hanshi, for instance, I mean, her content is fabulous, and she has great engagement. Part of that is because she's got 1,500 people in her group. As the numbers grow, the engagement will grow also. So I understand the frustration. We've all been there, like Claudia said. You know, give it a little bit of time, and you'll see that that's all going to change. But in the interim, just to get to a point that you mentioned before about one-on-one, that is surprisingly very, very powerful, and what this whole thing is really all about. If you get the right prospect in your group, even if they're not, you know, engaging as much as you'd like them to, if they're showing, if they've liked, you know, a piece of content, or if they have engaged, you definitely want to reach out to them one-on-one, and you want to build that relationship a little bit deeper. And, you know, again, by asking the right questions, finding out more about them, what their struggles might be, and that's the way that eventually you can get them into MLSP. Or, you know, when the time comes that maybe you become, or any of you become, an ambassador with Networking Superstars, that's also a time that you'll be able to earn commissions through that as well, by getting people to maybe buy the 6-step sponsoring sequence course. So, you know, again, like we always say, it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. But, you know, at the beginning there will be some frustration, but just push through it and you're going to be fine. And, you know, you always have our help and support. So if anybody has any comments or any questions, go right ahead. Okay, so now speaking of ways to engage and get people into your community, let me just give you a quick tip also, something else that is very effective, that I use a lot, and I've been using it more recently to get people into my community, and it's been working fairly well, and it's something that you guys may want to do also. One of the things that is important is really to tag people. So one of the things, and I'm going to just do a quick screen share again, and I'm going to go into my community. Let's see where we are. Okay. No, I don't think I did that the right way. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm on Facebook, guys. If you can just unmute and let me know if you can see my Facebook page.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yes.
Okay, so one of the things, oops, let me just go back to my group. Are you hearing the feedback?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm not sure why that is, but it seems to have stopped.
Yes, it has.
Okay, wrong group. Give me a second. Okay, now I'm back in my community. Now, this is what I'm suggesting, what I've been doing, what's been working, and that something that you guys may want to try as well is, and it has to do with tagging your community. Now, one of the things you want to do, and again, Tamara, this might be a good way to help you to get that engagement or more engagement that you're looking for currently, and all of us for that matter, is if you spot certain people in your community that are giving you likes, that are being a little bit more engaging, that are being a little bit more active, and again, those are the people that you want to target. Those are the people that have already raised their hand and they're showing an interest in what you have to say and what you have to offer through your content. So one of the things that you can do is, and let's see, you know what? I'm gonna go to Claudia, and Claudia, we're going to use you as an example. Okay, so we'll go into Claudia's profile page, and eventually it'll load so I can show you what I want to show you. Okay, so now, can you see Claudia's page, guys?
Yes.
Okay, and I love your new cover image. I love the cover image, Claudia. That's great.
That's only this week, you guys, just to let you know, my dad is the 1948 Masters champion. So this is a huge week for our family.
Wow, that's outrageous.
Awesome. And that my profile picture there is Kerry Middlecoff congratulating him on winning the tournament.
Oh my God! And when was that? What year was that?
1948.
Oh my God, that's unbelievable.
At that time, he won by the largest margin ever, 5 shots.
Holy
My
cow.
dad is the one on the right.
Let's see. Let's blow that up so everybody can see it. Very, very cool. I love it.
And normally this week I would be there, but I got sick and couldn't go. So.
Oh wow.
I had to give away my badges. But yeah, that's my dad on the right, and that's a famous golfer, Kerry Middlecoff.
Wow, interesting. Very cool. So I'm certainly happy that I decided to go to your profile page so we could find that out about you also. Very, very cool. So one of the things you want to do, once you've targeted somebody in your community that's currently there that you want to pursue the relationship or you want to get them to engage more, first thing you want to do is make sure, go to the following, and make sure that you click over here where it says See First. So see new posts at the top of the news feed. Okay? So now once you do that, what's going to happen is that once Claudia, or anytime Claudia makes a post, it's going to show up in my news feed, and it's going to show up at the top of the news feed, so it's going to be very, very visible for me, and it's going to be the type of thing that I'm probably not going to miss. So one of the things that's important, let's say that Claudia was somebody that I didn't know, and Claudia was just joining my community now, and she's, made a couple of engagement, she's engaged a little bit, and she's commented, or maybe she's liked, and once I've identified that, and I've gone in now, and I've, posted that I want to see her content, so now it's going to show up in my news feed. So now what's important to do, and this is the type of thing that you want to do anyway, not just with people in your group, but that's a good place to start. So now, as you're going through your news feed, and this is something you don't have to spend a lot of time doing, but you should spend some time every day. And as you're going through, and I'm not going to go into it now, but there are ways to, basically, if you have certain people in a list, that you're following, then you'll only see like their content. But I don't want to limit this to just the people in your group, so I'm not going to go into that right now. But as you're scrolling through and you see content from people that are in your community, then one of the things that you want to do is comment. You want to engage with them. you sometimes you have to be the first one to start the engagement. So if you see, for instance, that let's see, Diane Hoffman. Let's see, here's Claudia. All right, so now as you're scrolling through your feed, you see that Claudia has made a post over here. So one of the things you want to do, and now remember, Claudia just joined my community recently. She's not involved in any business. She's not an MLSP. I don't really know her, but I want to learn more about her. And she has shown an interest by joining my community, and she has, liked some of my posts. So now what I want to do, I want to like Claudia's post, and I want to make a comment. And I want to tag not only Claudia, and this is the important part that's going to come in. So I'm going to say something. I'm going to tag Claudia in the post so that Claudia knows that I'm making a comment. Let's see. It's Suggestion Saturday. Those are your best network marketing suggestions. All right, well, I'm not going to put in a lot of detail right now. So I just want to show you guys basically what I'm talking about, but you want to make a thoughtful comment. I'm not going to take the time to do that right now, so Claudia, I apologize. I'll come back to it later, but right now I'm just going to say, it looks like a great idea. Normally I would write something a little bit more detailed, a little bit more meat to it so it has a little bit more value. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make, and the reason you want it to be something that's meaningful as far as the comment is concerned, is that other people that comment are going to see your comment. So you want people to possibly say, wow, that's a great comment that Mark just made. Let me find out more about Mark. So what you want to do over here is after you've tagged Claudia or whoever it is that you're, the member of your community or Facebook friend, after you've tagged them, you also want to, at the very end, after you've made a nice, thoughtful comment, you want to tag your community. All right, so in this case, I would tag, let's see, my community. So now you have a comment over here that is going to, resonate with a lot of people that may want to find out more about me. So they have a couple of options. They can just click on my profile. They can go and they can find out a lot more about me that way. Or they're going to see over here, they're going to see basically a live link that's going to say Mark Corn Success one day at a time. I wonder what that's all about. And if they click on it, let's do that. And if they click on it, they're going to go right to my community page where they can easily join. Now, the other aspect of that is that, of course, once you start showing interest and you're making comments and you're liking other people's content that are in your community, they will, and this is something else we'll talk about hopefully next week, and it's part of the pre-training, is reciprocity. When you do something to provide value, or you do something like this and comment and help other people to grow their business, they're going to feel an obligation. They're going to feel the need to reciprocate. So they're going to start being more engaging and more active in your community. But now, in addition to just the people in your community, one of the things you want to do is just your basic Facebook friends as well, because you want to get them to join your community if they're not already in there. So again, make this part of your daily routine. And I know we want to paint a picture of what your daily day and your daily routine looks like. So this is one of the things that I would suggest that you do is as you go through your news feed, you want to see if you see people that you know. I know Kenny's in my community. Okay? Now, sometimes they're just sharing other people's content. Sometimes it's their own original content. When it's their own original content, if it's something that resonates with me, I will like it and I will comment. And I will tag my community so that if it's not somebody that's already in my community, there's a good likelihood they're going to be curious about what that link is and they're going to click on it. Now, this is different than going to a group or going to somebody's profile page and pitching a link. This is totally different. That I would never recommend that you do. As a matter of fact, we talk about it all the time, and I know you guys are all attraction marketers, and you know not to do that. So this is not what that is. This is leaving somebody, it's providing value in the form of leaving somebody a very, very nice comment that's going to keep their content in the news feed longer, and also now it's going to take their, because you commented or you liked, now it goes into your news feed. So more people are going to see their content. So you're doing them a big favor by liking and commenting, and they will feel the need to reciprocate. So when they see you showing up in their news feed, they're much more likely to comment and to engage with you. And that's how you build more engagement over time. And a lot of people, if it's somebody that's popular, that gets a lot of engagement on their post, that's that many more people that are going to see your comment. So again, if it's a thoughtful comment and there's a little bit more substance behind it, and then you have a link, well, not a link, but you've tagged your community, you're going to get people purely out of curiosity that are going to click on that link and maybe wind up joining your community. But certainly, even when you post on your profile page, and even if you just post, let's say, something that's personal development, you post a quote with an image, something like that, people will see that, and if you've commented and liked their content, they will do the same for you. And again, that's how the engagement grows over time. So it's something that's very, very positive, and it's something that you can do very, very easily. So do you guys have any questions? You can unmute yourself and ask away.
I did not know that I can do that with the community.
Yep, you can.
In the comment.
Yeah, there may be limits to, and I'm sure there are, and there should be, because then it tends to look a little bit spammy. So there are limits, I'm sure, as to how many tags you can put. Now, if you're just tagging a person, you can probably tag up to, several people. I mean, I've seen people that just tag the world, which is completely ridiculous, and most of the time, it's not a good thing to do, especially, again, without, talking about permission-based marketing. It's not something that's good. People don't generally like to be tagged. Now, because it's our group and our community, if we, have a piece of content out there, or like when we share the images from the Hangout, then I'm going to tag you guys, and you guys are going to tag me, and that's fine. We're in the same community together. We're a team. But if you're just indiscriminately trying to, pitch something, and you're just tagging a bunch of people, that's definitely spamming. So I would only limit it in a case like this where you're sharing other people's comment. You can certainly, it could be even your profile page, wherever you want to send people, but I've been using it to send people to the community page and, trying to generate some interest that way. So definitely go ahead and try that. It definitely works. Any other questions, guys?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, Mark, I'm a bit nervous where you say we must tag the community. The posts I've been seeing, I have not seen anybody, including you, taking their community. Won't I be taken as now spamming with my community?
Dig, I'm not sure I understand your question. You want to run that by me again?
Yes, I thought you said when you visit somebody's post, you should tag your community. Is that what you said?
Yes, absolutely.
Then I said, because that community, when I take it, is my link. Now, won't it be taken as spam?
No. There's a big difference between spamming your link to an opportunity and the way that people tend to do it. I mean, they'll pitch, they'll give you content, and they're going to, actually, let's say, you're posting something on your profile, you're going to somebody else's profile, and you're basically screaming, "Join my business," because you're pitching a link. That's really spamming. If you post something, a link, or if you send a private message to somebody and you include a link without the person's permission, that's really spamming. What you're doing here, which is the big difference, is that you're providing value because you're going and you're making a comment and you're liking somebody else's content, and that's helping them because it's not only you giving them a comment, but now because you've commented on their content and you've liked, it's going into your news feed. So now more people are going to see their content. So you're helping them get more exposure, and you're leaving a comment that has value behind it, and other people will probably see that. Now, you've got an option. When you do that, if you don't feel comfortable tagging your community, you don't have to, but it's definitely not spamming. It's quite different than spamming. And like I said, you provided value for them by making a comment. But even if you don't put your, even if you don't tag your community, just the fact that you've actually left them a valuable content will help and will work in your favor, because people, again, will just have a feeling of reciprocity where they're going to feel obligated to return the favor. They're going to see, the next time, whether they're in your community or just a Facebook friend, when they start to see your content, they'll return the favor. It's just, and then, you can private message them. You can tell them, hey, Claudia, I just commented on your content that I saw online. It's great content. I really loved it. And then start a conversation that way. So there are many, many ways that you can start a conversation and eventually ask people to join your community. That's just one more way to do it, and definitely it's not spamming. But if you don't feel comfortable doing that, by all means, you don't have to. But I have been doing it. It doesn't work for everybody. There will be people out there, because look how many hundreds of thousands and millions of people are on Facebook. Or, maybe you've got 1,000 friends or 2,000 friends or even 500 friends. Some of them are not. Some of them are going to think it's spamming. Some of them aren't going to have a clue what it is. Some of them will say, hey, that's cool, and it's going to create curiosity. But there'll definitely be some people that think it's spamming. But that's okay, because those are not the people that you're trying to attract. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. But again, if you feel more comfortable not putting that in, just the fact that you're commenting will give them value and it'll be reciprocated. So that's still, in and of itself, that's a good thing to do.
Okay, thanks. However, I think I have to get out of the comfort zone. I have to start it. Thank you.
Sure. I'm gonna stop sharing and I'm gonna come back to the group. Okay, guys, I'm back. Anybody else have a comment about that or question about that? Okay.
So like the post, you did the post and then I came to you and I commented. I gave value of my perception of what was giving value.
Tamara, you're breaking up. We can't hear you.
The last article that you wrote, or the two-part article you wrote, mastermind group. Now,
right.
I added value to the in my comment, correct? You felt I added value?
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, I noticed that. Yeah, go on.
And so then now tag my group. I could tag my community.
Tamara, I'm sorry. I was only hearing like every other word.
When I leave a comment like.
I think there's a problem with your mic.
Let me tell you what she says. She's asking whether she can then tag her community. After she made that valuable comment, may she then tag her community in that post? That's what I thought she said.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, you certainly can. I mean, obviously we're already working together, so certainly you don't have to tag it. But again, if you want to become more visible, if you want to get more exposure, and you want more people to see your content and possibly have another way to get people into your community, then absolutely. But see now the comments that you make, and I've noticed that you've done it when you've gone into other communities, including my own, and that's what I always try to do, and most of you guys always do that. I mean, when you comment in my community, you make very, very thoughtful comments. You put thought into what you're doing. It's not just, a drive-by where you just like, 2 words and you're off. I mean, you guys add value, and people see that. And when people see that, they recognize you. So absolutely, if you want to, if after you make a comment in anybody's community, if you want to tag your own community, that's fine. That's a good thing to do. And again, it's not spamming. And if people think that it is, they just won't click on it. But they're going to really recognize, they're going to notice the content, the comment that you left more than anything else. So sure, that's something that you can do anytime you leave a comment, anytime whether it's a Facebook friend or in the news feed, anytime you leave a comment, I would say don't do it each and every time. Test it out. See what happens when you do it. If you start getting results and you start getting feedback, and all of a sudden people, because you're going to know or you'll probably remember. You can even make a little note for yourself. You say, I visited Claudia Peavy's page and I left a comment for her, and I tagged my community. Now, if she's not in your community, and all of a sudden, a day or two later, or immediately she shows up, asking to join your community, you're going to know that it worked. So it's something that you may not want to do each and every time you post, but certainly something you should mix in to what you do. Absolutely. Okay, guys, now there is one other thing, and again, I know we didn't get into the 6 steps yet, and we're going to touch on it a little bit before the end of the end of the Hangout. But again, as things happen, it's important to be able to discuss things that are currently on your mind or things that are going on that particular week. So I think that sometimes that takes priority. I mean, if this was a very structured Hangout, and let's say we only had a certain amount of time to devote to it, and after 6 weeks it's a spring Hangout, and after 6 weeks or 8 weeks that's it, there's no more, I'd say, okay, we have to have an agenda, we have to stick to it very, very closely. But that's not the case. I want this to basically go on indefinitely if you guys want to also. So we'll have plenty of time to cover all the 6 steps and in detail. But there's just other things that go on during the course of the week that are important to discuss, questions, concerns that you guys have. So I want to be there to be able to answer those questions, and I don't want you to feel as though, okay, now we're going to only be able to, I've seen some of the other trainings that some other people do, and it's like, it's just, it's 45 minutes or an hour of just pure content, and it can be overwhelming because nobody even gets a chance to ask a question. It's just, it's a lot, it's a little bit here, a little bit there, it's sort of all over the place, and that's not my teaching and learning style. I mean, I'd rather go over less content, less material, but have everybody, comment on it so that we make sure that we're all on the same page and all questions are answered. And sometimes that means, have something just popped up over here. Give me a second while I try and clear it. What did I do? Uh-oh. Okay, I think we're back. So I think it's important to sometimes, deviate from the norm, from the plan for that particular week, and there'll be plenty of time to hopefully, and if you guys have questions during the course of the week about the 6 steps, feed them to me. Certainly anytime, it's fine. But I think that because we have communities, other things are going to come up that's important that we discuss. So there is one other thing that that I think is important to discuss, and it's not the 6 steps right now, but you guys probably saw Dig's comment that he posted in the chat group earlier about somebody that I guess I wouldn't say pitching the link, thinking in their own mind that they were trying to offer value, but it was somebody that was like offering their own training in Dig's community. So you may have seen that post that Dig made in the focus group, in the chat group. So I just want to address that because we're all going, some of us may have already experienced that. If we haven't, chances are, because we have communities, we're going to. So I think it's important to talk about the best way to handle a situation like that. And the advice that I had mentioned, and I think that we should all be aware of that. First of all, you want to make sure that your settings, and I think they probably all are, for all you guys who currently have groups, make sure that it's set so that when somebody makes a comment, it has to be approved. Now, granted, if they're just, tagging somebody else, if there's already a comment and they're just adding their own comment to an existing thread, then it's a different story. It doesn't need your approval. But a lot of times they're going to create their own content, create their own post, and it might be pitchy. It might be something where it's going to, something that's going to be tagged to them, where they're trying to, poach basically your members, where they might want to offer training, and it sounds great because you're inviting people into your community. You want them to add value, but you want them to add value in the form of comments, support, things that are basically generic. Because, at the end of the day, this is your property. This is your community. You want to reap the benefits of it. You want to get the reps. You want to get the sign-ups. You want to be looked at as the leader. You want to be looked at as the authority. You don't want somebody else coming into your community and saying, I have some great free training, and then having a link to a capture page so that now they have a lead for somebody in your community. So one of the important things to do is to make sure that you watch for those types of comments. If it's something you have to
Can
approve,
you just put me on some water too?
I'm sorry?
Put me on some water too? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I thought I
Okay.
muted myself.
No problem. So, it's very important to basically be on the lookout for those types of things. So if you have to approve the comment, then that's fine. Just disapprove it. Just delete it altogether. And then I would suggest send a private message to that person and tell them that you really appreciate their input, you appreciate their participation, you want them to basically continue participating in your group, but you already provide the best training in the industry, and of course we know that's MLSP. We already provide the best training in the industry and other resources for your group members, and you don't want to cause confusion because their training may be significantly different than what you propose, than what you offer and provide for your group members. So you have to let them know very, very nicely that, not that they did anything terrible that you have to say it won't be tolerated, but just tell them that that's not the kind of information that you can really approve. If they just tack on to somebody else's comment so that it does appear, now you're going to be notified anyway, being it's your group and you have notifications on, you're going to know that somebody made a comment. If it's pitchy or somebody offers a link or something that leads to a capture page that's branding them, you just delete that link, delete that comment. You can't modify it, you can't edit it, but you can go in, it's your group, you've got control, you can just delete that comment. And again, send a thoughtful private message to that person letting them know that, this group is, it's a no spam group, that, if they have value to add or if they have a link that's to a generic type of a page where it's just something that will be helpful to other people and it provides value, maybe a blog post, something like that, that's fine. But if they're pitching their own thing or they're sending somebody to a capture page where they're going to collect the lead, that you don't want to have happen. You want people to stay in your community, be devoted to you, and see the value that you provide. So even though we want to have engagement, we want to have the right kind of engagement. So just something to be aware of and to watch for.
I had somebody do that. I had somebody join and they spammed every single comment in the group, and then they went to my personal page and they started spamming that. I threw her out of the group, and then when I did message her, I wasn't nice, and she messaged me back and she apologized, but I won't let her back in. I think that she had a business and she only had like 5 friends on Facebook, and she got in there to promote her business, but she didn't know how. But I don't know. I don't have as much patience as you do. I can't tolerate things, and so I just would rather not have her there. So that's what I did.
No, and listen, I think you did the right thing. I wouldn't give a second chance either. I mean, if they've only got a few Facebook friends and they came in and they spammed, that's fine. You have every right. I mean, you can obviously, the first thing, as an option to the rest of you guys who maybe have a little bit more tolerance, one of the things that you can do is give them a warning. So just delete their post, send them a private message, and I like to talk about killing 2 birds with 1 stone. So one of the things you can do, you can take that as an opportunity to educate somebody and to help somebody and possibly get them to join you because you're providing value that their own upline isn't providing because they're being taught the wrong way. So you can just send a warning that this is spam and this is a no spam community. And if it happens again, like in this case, this person apologized, maybe they didn't get it, they didn't understand. So I'm not saying you should, and I'm not saying that you did the wrong thing because you didn't do the wrong thing. What you did was fine. But you can just say if it happens again, I'm going to have to basically remove you from the community. But if this is a teaching community and I'm a member of a training platform which teaches me how to generate leads the right way and how to brand myself and how to, use permission-based marketing and how to become a proper attraction marketer. Let them know that. Send them a private message. Tell them that you can help them. Doesn't mean you have to let them back into your group, but you can possibly get them into MLSP, on a trial basis. So what I like to do personally, and I run into people like that all the time that are just blatant pitchers. And I'll go into their profile, I'll check them out. If they have no Facebook friends like you, I'll just forget about it. It's not worth my time, not worth my energy. I don't want to deal with it. But if I see that they do have a fair amount of friends, and I see that they do post on Facebook, that they are somewhat active, but they're just being taught and trained improperly, I will reach out to them and tell them that there is a better way, and I can help you with that. If you'd like, let me know, and I'll send you a link. Just again, a conversation starter. You never know where it's going to go. I've gotten signups by doing that because people say, yeah, I'm not really getting support from my upline. I don't really agree with what they're teaching me, but I don't know any other way. It's a great opportunity. So you may want to take advantage of that and try and help somebody who's not being shown the right way how to do this, and show them the right way. You've got the tools now, you've got the resources, you've got the 6-Up sponsoring, you've got your communities where you're doing teaching and training, you've got MLSP, you've got free training from the system campaigns, you've got everything at your fingertips to help these people. And ideally, that's what we're trying to do. That's why you want people in your community in the first place. You want to get them into your business, and you want to get them, if not into your business initially, into MLSP, so you can earn commissions that way. So try to keep an open mind and an eye open to a situation like that. For all of us, it's an opportunity lost sometimes when you don't take advantage. So go to their profile page, check their profile, see if everything is a blank like we spoke about last week, if all their modules are empty and they just, or they have very few friends, then it may not be worth the effort. If they're really newbies, it might not be worth the effort. But if they show that, or you can determine that they do have a little bit of experience, then it might be worth your while to try and help them out a little bit. Try and give them some feedback that there is a better way, and I can help you with that. So just a thought.
She was just members. She was members of multiple groups. She only had, like, when I checked her out at first, she didn't have any friends, and then when I cut her off, she had like 5 friends, but she was just members of multiple groups, and I think that she was just going in and spamming the groups. And also on Instagram, there was this guy that has, I think, multiple accounts, and he personal messaged me on all 3 accounts, and all the messages were the same, except just a few words changed. Well, I guess I messaged him because I was angry. And he messaged me back, and he said, "You got to be kidding me. You're saying I'm spamming?" And I said, "Yeah, you're spamming." So then more messages came. I don't know how many accounts he has. And then I blocked his other accounts. And then I messaged him back, and I said, "How many spamming accounts do I have to block?" And so then I blocked him. And that was that. But I don't know. I just get really irritated because I don't have time for that, And I think he's in Insta. I think he's a member of Instagram. The Instagram training, because I went into his link. But he just changes like 2 words and puts different company names. We have many Beachbody members and they're doing great, or we have many Mary Kay members and they're doing great. But it's the exact same message. And so I know when I messaged him, he was offended that I would say such a thing, that I didn't thank him for friending me or whatever, but I was just like, no, just don't ever message me again. So that's what I did.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's what a lot of people do, and I've done that too in the past. And again, I congratulate you. I mean, some communities are zero tolerance. So, and that's fine because that I've contemplated doing that myself at times. And some people you really just have to get rid of and delete, and that's the end of it. And this person you mentioned before that had 5 friends, I mean, that's the perfect kind of a person. I mean, I have people that I'm connected with on Instagram that I get messages, notifications like on a regular basis that this person just, your friend so-and-so just joined Instagram. And I reached out to him and, to see if he wanted some Instagram training. And he told me, oh, no, this is just one of my, my profiles. I mean, I've been on Instagram a while. I have a big following. But now he's just, trying to promote through Instagram other businesses. So, yeah, that's common practice where you have people that, the same person is going to just maybe just tweak it a little bit, but they're going to have all kinds of content, out there, and you're going to keep seeing them pop up, like or they'll, message you like, it's the first time that you're seeing them or being exposed to them, and you've been exposed to them like a dozen times with a dozen different opportunities. So yeah, it does get a little bit crazy and very, very annoying sometimes. Any other comments, thoughts? Okay.
Yes, sir. I would like to make a comment. Hello, Mark.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a bit concerned where you don't like these newbies who have nothing on their profiles. Are we not supposed to initiate them? Now, if we stay away from them, who's going to train them? These ones who, I thought some of this is because they don't know what is going on. Now, wouldn't it be best to attract them and initiate them? Just a thought.
I think I missed the first part of that question. What is it that you said that you were concerned about?
The people who are new, say new on Facebook,
oh, okay.
They don't have friends, their profile is ask. Are we not to encourage them to improve it? My profile has improved because you told me what to do. It was not that bad, but I improved it since you showed me what to do. Now those, if we leave them alone, who's going to help them?
Okay, that's an excellent question and a very good point. See, now you have a couple of, now first of all, you have the option. I mean, when I suggest something, I mean, it's not necessarily something you have to follow 100% of the way or 100% of the time. And certainly if you have a way that you feel more comfortable doing a certain thing, then by all means. I mean, even in Gavin's training, he talks about the 2 different groups of marketers that you can basically target. It's either the newbie or it's somebody that maybe has a year to 2 years of experience. All right, so it depends upon who your target market is. Now, not all of us are going to have exactly the same target market, the same audience that we're going to be going after. Now, some of us may have a little bit less patience or a little bit less time to allocate to people that have absolutely no experience in the industry, and we prefer to deal with somebody that maybe has at least a year or 2 of experience in the industry. But you're 110% right. We want to help all people, and that's why I had mentioned before that when somebody is maybe shows that they don't understand and they're pitching their links, that it's an opportunity for us to really go out and possibly help them and offer them training. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag. I'm just talking about people. I mean, you can't target market everybody. You can't make everybody happy. You can't train everybody. You want to leverage your time. You want to attract people that are going to give you results in your business, that give you the best opportunity to, generate an income. And as much as you want to help people, if you get them into your community, you don't have to hold their hand, and you can certainly, try and get them into your community, and then just through your training in the community, you're helping them. By offering training and resources in your file section, you're helping them. So certainly I encourage you to bring people into your community. I'm just saying that you may not want to spend a whole lot of extra time. If they reach out to you, which happens a lot also, because they're going to see the kind of content you create, they're going to see the kind of marketer that you are, they may reach out to you in a private message, and they may say they need help. And you can certainly have that conversation. and certainly get them the help that they deserve. But for somebody on Facebook, when you go through their profile, you're looking for, again, the best bang for your buck. You're looking for people that are in your target market. So you have to decide exactly who your target market is going to be. And if it's newbies, then by all means, if it's somebody that's who you want to really help, and I think that's great, and I do a lot of that. I mean, I sort of mix the two groups together. And if you just want to target people that are new to the industry that really need help because you've got the resources, absolutely, that's your target market. If you want to go after somebody as a target market that has a little bit more experience in the industry, do that, and don't spend your time with the people that have none. Or, like I'm doing, a combination of the two. That's entirely up to you. I can't tell you, and I would never tell you, who your target market should be. But that's ironically, that is one of the things that I did want to discuss today. So I am going to spend a few minutes, because one of the things that is important is, and we sort of touched upon it earlier in the Hangout. I have been, and I am a member, and one of my first, I guess, my first role models in the industry, and one of my first mentors was Ann Sieg, because she's like the grandmother of attraction marketing. Just like, we have people that are the grandfather of social, social media. So Ann is the grandmother of attraction marketing, and she's put out some great reports and great books and great resources. And that's how I learned to become, a number of years ago, an attraction marketer. So one of the things that I learned, she used to do challenges all the time. And one of the best challenges that I took part in, and there was a lot more to it, but part of the challenge was, we had a session where we actually had to define, our niche, and then we also had to define our perfect customer avatar. And basically it's all part of your, developing and defining your target, your target market, which is very important, and one of the things that Gavin trains on, and certainly an important part of the 6 steps as well. So one of the things that I did, and I encourage you guys to do also, and this is all part of, again, developing your target market and knowing who your ideal prospect is that you have to create a story. You have to sketch out in detail and define exactly who your target market is. Now, my target market, and I have this written down, and I'm just going to read it off to you guys real fast just so you can get an idea, because it should be in writing. Let me just check my notes real fast, and let me just see if I can find it. Give me a second. Sorry for the delay. And I don't think I can find it. Okay, wait a second. Okay, here we go. All right, well, one of the things that you definitely want to do is, when you're defining your ideal prospect, and mine, and I guess I didn't have it. I thought I had it in my notes, but I don't. But it's basically somebody who is similar to, because you want somebody that that's going to resonate with you and the content that you put out there. So it's somebody that's basically my ideal, and you even give them a name. You can call them Joe, you can call them Mary, and you create content as if you're talking to that person directly, one-on-one, which also goes back to what we were saying earlier. In your community, it's certainly not like it's a waste of time to communicate with people one-on-one, because that's what you're looking to do, because that's how you're going to, you can't develop a relationship with everybody in your community, but when you pick certain ones out that are in your target market, your target audience, your perfect, prospect, then you want to have that one-on-one type of engagement with them, so you can find out what their story is, and you can see if you have something that can help them out. So my ideal prospect, let's say his name is Joe. He's anywhere from 45 to 55 years old, and again, you really want to be specific and really define it. It's something that's maybe close to my own situation. I've got a son in college, so I know how difficult that can be as far as tuition's concerned. They're getting close to an age where maybe your kids are going to be getting married, so you're looking to develop another source of income. I mean, it's the type of thing where when you're developing your avatar, you want to go into as much detail as you can. Is it a male? Is it a female? What's their name? What's their profession? Their occupation. What is it they do for a hobby? What is their, what are their dreams, their aspirations? I mean, so you want to go after the type of person because you don't necessarily want to create content that's going to be geared, generically to everybody, because you can't target everybody. You can't attract everybody. So you really want to be very, very specific, when you decide who your target market is, because then there are places that you can go to find your target market, because there are certain places where your target market is going to hang out. Whether it's social media, whatever it might be, in certain groups, you can find them with certain search tools. But the bottom line is, they're going to find you. You want them to resonate with your content so they can find you. And in order to create the right type of content that's going to get a response, that's going to create engagement, that's going to get somebody to join you in your business or become a lead for you or join your community, you have to, create content. Gavin calls it magnetic content, and it really truly is. And we'll, in weeks to come, we're going to be talking about that when we really get into step number 1, which will probably be in a couple of weeks. You're going to find out exactly what you have to do to create that kind of content that's going to attract your target market to you. So it's important that you really know who your target market is, and you define them as closely as you can, so that when you create content, you're talking to them. They feel the pain. Now, Gavin, in a lot of his training videos, and even in a lot of the content that he creates, if you guys are on his list, you've received his content, so you've seen it. Gavin tells a story. Sometimes it's a very lengthy story, but it's a compelling story. And he talks about his pains. He talks about what he overcame. Talks about, when he got started in the industry, that he didn't really have the right mentorship or anything else, and he struggled for a number of years, like a lot of industry leaders do. So it's certainly nothing that you have to be ashamed of if you're in the industry for 4 or 5 or 6 years and you haven't gotten the results that you wanted. It's commonplace. It's normal. But you want people to see you as a real person also, that you've got vulnerabilities, that you went through a lot of these things, and because you did and you learned, now you can help them. So they're going to look at you as an authority. They're going to look at you as somebody that has a tool, that has a resource, that has something that you can provide to them to help them out, whether it's in whatever business they're in. It could be the health and wellness industry. It can be whatever industry it is. You have people coming online all the time. Maybe they were offline marketers and now they're online marketers. And they are looking for ways to generate leads and to close people into their business. They need that help. So if your niche is, and your target market are network marketers or possibly internet marketers, I mean, it's difficult. I've tried to market, cross-section of those people, but like we said earlier in the Hangout, there is a separate conversation that you're going to have with a network marketer as opposed to, let's say, an internet marketer, an affiliate marketer. So the content that you create has to be geared to whoever your target market is, and that's going to give you the highest probability to attract the type of people that you're looking for. So again, dig also, just to get back to what you had asked me before, which was an excellent question, if your target market or one of your target markets, I'm not saying you should have multiple ones because you shouldn't. You should be defined and know who you want to attract into your life, into your business. So one of the things, if you decide that you really want to go after those people that are struggling, really, and that's part of my niche also, my target market, are people struggling. They're part-time networkers. I'm a part-time networker. A lot of us are part-time networkers. That presents a whole other set of challenges. You want to be able to leverage your time. You need to be, if you're somebody that's poor in time management, that's part of who I go after. So in my content, I talk a lot about time management. I talk a lot about being a part-time marketer. I talk about a lot of the things that other people in my target audience can relate to and say, oh yeah, hey, I have a kid that's about to start college, or I have son and I need extra income, or I'm struggling in my profession and I need to supplement my income, or I'm not getting enough leads, I'm not generating enough leads for my my primary business, I need to get more leads, I need to get more signups. You know, your content has to talk to certain people. You can't talk to everybody. So that's why it's important to really define, you know, your avatar, your prospect, your perfect prospect as closely as you can, right down to their sex, right down to their name, right down to their age. And I'm not saying that if your perfect prospect is a female, that you shouldn't go after men and get them into your business. That's not what I'm saying. But just as a general rule, this is who you want to resonate with your content. This is who you feel the most comfortable with. This is who you feel you can help the most. Certainly, you want to sponsor a wide range of people into your business. There's no doubt about it. And that's going to happen. But when you're creating content and you're creating your perfect customer, your perfect prospect, you want to target them, so that's who comes to you and that's who you attract. And if you put out the right kind of content, you're going to also, because you're not going to say in your content, you know, you're not going to talk to somebody by their name and say, hey, I've got a woman's product that's, you know, specifically for women. I mean, depending upon what the nature of your business is, and if you're in health and wellness, and there is a product that's specifically for women, then yeah, some of your content will be geared towards that. But again, it will be also in your niche. So if your niche is health and wellness, and that's your target market, then you want your content to be geared towards that. Now, I think that most of us in this particular group, most of us are basically, you know, I know for myself, most of us are basically, I think, targeting network marketers, and that sort of falls into line with, you know, the whole networking superstars philosophy and vision, and, you know, just the online network marketers blueprint and MLSP. You know, we're trying to help, you know, other marketers, other online marketers out there to take their business to the next level. So that seems to be where most of us are focused. And even if we have a primary, like Claudia does, or Glenna does, or Deb does, or Dig does, or I do, that's fine, or Tamara. I mean, that's fine, because what you want to do is get those people into your business on the back end anyway. So where you're providing value and where you're attracting people to you is on the front end to get them into your community, to get them into MLSP, to help them, because not everybody is going to want to join your primary business. But again, like we've said before, the conversation is a lot different. The dynamic is a lot different when you talk to people in terms of tools and resources and building their skill set and helping them to build their existing business. You're not pitching them to join your business, which maybe they will later on down the road. But you've got resources that can help them now with their business. And that's a big advantage and a big, big benefit that we all have. So, you know, so basically if your target market is network marketers and you have a primary business, you don't have to go out there necessarily and create content, compelling content about your health and wellness, for argument's sake. Now, Claudia, I know you've got a great blog and you talk about essential oils, and that's awesome because that's part of, you know, the target market that you want to attract as well. But again, when we look at this, you know, as far as bringing people, attracting people to us, whether it's our community, MLSP, it's all about providing value. And usually, more often than not, when you lead with your primary, now you want to be a solution provider, you want to be somebody that offers value. So when you do something like that, where you have a blog where you create content like Claudia does and like a lot of you do, where you talk about other things in your chosen niche, that's great, because that's another way of showing people your value and for people to come to you for advice and for really becoming a leader and, you know, things like that, which are very, very important. But again, ultimately, when you build your business, it's going to be on the back end. So hopefully that made sense to you guys. So you can go ahead, unmute yourself, and, you know, ask any questions that you may have. Then I just want to go over one last thing, and I will keep it short, and then we're gonna end the Hangout for today, because yet again it ran a lot longer. So again, my apologies.
Mark, now you know that I am not involved in an MLM.
Right.
So maybe we can get together later. I mean, you know where my vision is. I just don't know how to develop it still.
Mhm.
So to know what my target audience is, I'm just totally lost. You know, because right now I'm just kind of creating content to create content and not having anything of a target market. So yeah, if you can help me with that, because I just don't know how to tie everything on where I'm going with all this.
Sure, sure,
So
absolutely. Yeah, and that's all part of the journey, and that's great. And we'll definitely be able to go over that. We'll definitely chat, and I can certainly create something for you so you have a little bit more of a focus on that. And that's something that we're going to work on also over time because I definitely know, what your vision is, and I think it's a great one. And it's not important to have a network marketing business or an affiliate marketing business. I mean, you can have something that's more traditional or more conventional. It could even be an offline type of a business, but you're marketing it online. So, in our case, and this is just a quick, offshoot of what we're talking about, is in our case, because we are solution providers, even though our end goal may be a little bit different, it may be our primary, it may be something that's a little bit less traditional or something that's in a different niche. Again, you're bringing people into a platform like MLSP for a couple of reasons. Number one, to help them to develop yourself as a leader, to get the great training that we get, to have the other resources that we get, so that you can earn additional commissions, so that you can fund your primary business. We have a lot of people in MLSP, which we've spoken about before, that make that their primary because it can be so lucrative. So a lot of people just pursue MLSP or training platforms like that and do nothing else. But once you get people into your circle, and once you get people into your community and into your sphere of influence, then it's a lot easier to take them in a lot of other directions. And again, as long as you know what that direction is, and I think in your case, again, we'll talk about it in more detail, but you want to help people to develop what they need to develop the right mindset, to develop the, be able to utilize the right resources to build their own business, whatever it may be. It may not be what you're building, but to help them to develop their own business, their own thing, and have their own passion that they can follow. So I love your path, and we'll definitely talk about it more. And just as we develop the 6 steps, you're going to see how much it's going to help you out. Any other questions, guys? Okay, I'm going to just take 5 more minutes. I just want to ask you guys real fast, and at least I'm happy we did get a chance to cover some of the stuff that I did have on my agenda for today, as far as the perfect customer avatar and target marketing and developing exactly who your target market is, and we'll talk about it more in the coming weeks. But I just want to know real fast what you guys did, and I know this is normally something that we talk about at the beginning of the Hangout, but I guess we went into other areas today. So just very quickly, if you can, we'll start with Claudia. If you can just unmute yourself real fast and just let us know what it is, for accountability purposes, whether it's with your accountability partner or, whatever it might be, just to let us know what you did this week to take your business forward.
Sure. I've kind of slowed down, as you guys know, with having the pneumonia. And basically, I have a plan, a daily plan that I do every day. And what it is it's Gavin's training again, and it's called my 4 focus list, and it's the 4 areas that I focus on every single day. One is to create daily content, and then I communicate with all my members and anybody else who's communicated or engaged with me. I'm trying to develop, because I am with MLSP, an affiliate with them, and really trying to get into coaching. So I'm trying to develop a coaching program too, and learning about that. And then, of course, I tell people about the solutions that I have. Obviously, this week, if you'll notice in my group, I've worked on trying to figure out what your avatar is, Tamara. So if you go in and look at my last 2 posts, that's what it's all about, is finding your perfect avatar. And I'm going to be diving, like I said in the chat on the side, more into that all week long. You can write books on that, but I'm just trying to, I've compiled all the notes from all the experts, everybody, and this is what I've come up with on how to define your perfect avatar. So I hope it helps you guys. So that's what I've worked on this week.
That's excellent, and I'm going to be checking it out because I want to see that, because I'm sure it can definitely help a lot of people. Thanks, Claudia. Okay, Deb, if you want to unmute yourself, I'd appreciate it. You don't have to talk too much because I know that you've got a sore throat.
Okay. This week, I didn't really do that much, but when I get a chance to, like when I'm on the bus going to work, because it's really easy to post on Instagram, and I have the InstaLeads training, which I'm still going through. I don't have that much time to listen to trainings all the time, but I'm still going through the training and doing, what she's saying to do. But on my trip on the bus in the morning, I look at stuff and I try to create things and put them on Instagram or in my group or whatever. And then if there's any I don't know, I don't really have breaks during the day, but if there's a time where I can just check in my phone real quick or make another post or whatever, I do that. And then when I come home, depending on how much time I have when I come home, I spend a couple hours doing either training or trying to create some kind of content. This week I was pretty bad. I didn't do much of anything. I put a couple posts this week, and other than that, I couldn't stay awake or whatever to do much. So, but that's what I try to do. Like every time I have a free moment, also on the bus going home, I'll go and I'll go into the app called Studio, and I do a search for certain things, and I get certain photos or pictures, and then I fix them how I want them, and put my I have a little thing called Deborah Barden, the Dancing Grandmapreneur, and I have that on the things that I create, and I try to save them all into my phone, so I have a bunch saved. So all I got to do is just go and make certain posts. The longer posts, like the longer content posts, take a little bit more time. I have to think more about that and do research and stuff. But that's what I try to do, because really there's the time and to try to get enough sleep. I wasn't getting enough sleep prior to getting this either. I was staying up to 11 o'clock and whatever, and that only gives me 4 hours of sleep, 4 or 5 hours. So that's what I do when I'm not sick, and then when I was sick, I just really didn't do that much. So
Deb, I think that's great. Considering you weren't feeling well, I give you a lot of credit for doing what it is that you did. So you get a pass this week. You don't have to worry about it. And I love your branding. The Dancing Grandmapreneur, I think, is fabulous. So it's wonderful branding, and that's part of also developing your target market and everything else is your branding. And of course, one of the things that I wanted to discuss today that we're not going to discuss, so I'll have to push off to another week. But yeah, your target market's all part of your personal branding also, and you want it to be congruent across all networks. And your branding is fabulous. So that's excellent. So thank you for sharing.
okay.
And while you guys are talking, I'm also making some images that I can send to you of the Hangout. Okay? So, Dig, if you can unmute yourself and tell us the same thing, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, what I did is I did an event on the community page Facebook, and I also did an event of blogging onto Google. And then I've been continuing trying to get members to my community. Then I did attend some lab where it was said I should make Facebook my hub and get the other social group to attract people to Facebook. However, I've been trying to attract them to the community. I just heard you now say maybe from Google I should take. Are you taking them to the profile or the fan page? And then with Instagram, I've been trying to take them to the community. But after what you said today, should I take them to the profile, not straight to the community?
Yeah, what I generally do and what I suggest is that you take them to your profile. If you give them a link to your community, they won't be as likely to follow that link. So I think it's easier for them, and people will feel, I guess, less threatened to use that term, and it's it's not quite as blatant. So if you just tell them that you want to connect with them, they've already connected with you on Google Plus, so they're going to be open to connecting with you on other platforms anyway. So if you just send them a basic generic message and tell them that you'd also love to connect with them on Facebook, most people will, and just definitely send them to your profile. And then once you connect as friends, then you send them a private message, and at that point you can ask them to join your community, and ask them if they want a link and take it to that level. And I'm happy to say that we can actually see you and hear you this week, so that's great.
Would you do the same with Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter?
LinkedIn is a whole other animal, so that's something we can talk about, at a future date. But LinkedIn is great. I use LinkedIn. LinkedIn groups are very powerful. You can certainly, create your own LinkedIn group. But LinkedIn, once you're on the LinkedIn platform, most people on LinkedIn are very professional. So it's something, and they've got income, so they can join your business. So LinkedIn is a great platform. But most people that are on LinkedIn are not going to want to come into Facebook, things like that. So when you're on LinkedIn, you want to stay on LinkedIn and have conversations with people just on that platform. But it's something definitely to pursue, and I think I have some very good LinkedIn training somewhere, but by the same token, you don't want to spread yourself too thin. You're better off focusing on one social media platform first, and then when you start getting some traction, then you can move to another one. Twitter, I use Twitter a lot also, and one of the things you can do with Twitter, you can automate it so you're sending out direct messages to anybody that follows you on Twitter, and then you can basically give them a link to your community if you want to. So there are things that you can do on Twitter also, but certainly nothing that we're going to discuss today. We're going to try and keep the focus to Facebook and at this point Google Plus, because those are powerful venues and powerful platforms, but not to diminish the other ones. And there's great Twitter training that we have access to with MLSP, which you should check out. And like I said, I'll see if I have some LinkedIn training someplace. So I'll see if I can get that for you.
Okay, thanks.
Okie doke. Glenna, your turn. And Dig, if you can just mute yourself again, please. Thank you.
Okay. Getting my domains for my business and kind of getting the focus of it. And so this conversation about your, the avatar and all of that is a very good conversation for me right now. Also, I've worked on, what did I work on? I mean, I did more book work, and I'm not finished with my taxes yet because I thought I was finished, and then I had another problem with PayPal, and my accounts didn't add up right anyway. So I'm still working on that, and that's where I am basically. And I do, let's see, what else did I do? I didn't list it all out. That's basically it. I have been on Facebook and have started liking and commenting and stuff like that. So that's all I've been doing really.
That's great. Like I said last week, as long as you're doing anything during the course of the day or the week, even if you skip a day here or there, you still want to be as consistent as you possibly can, and there's nothing better than being consistent on a daily basis. But like we said, life gets in the way, and other things go on, and sometimes there are going to be days or weeks for whatever reason that you're just not going to be able to be as active. So that's understandable, and that's fine. Too many people just take off weeks and months at a time. You're just talking about a couple of days or a week here and there, and that's fine. You're still moving your business forward, and that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. And last but certainly not least, Tamara.
This week, I've really been focusing on getting through the 6 steps, watching the videos of Gavin's that I have on his free file, so that's taking care of my training. I've been writing my content in my community. I've gone and supported all the other members here. When I see something coming up, I try to come in and at least welcome other people that's entered into their communities. I've gone through a lot of my personal, like I said, I used to have almost 4,000, and I was so frustrated with network marketing at one time that I wiped it all down, that I'm down to 350. I just got, I don't know, maybe that was a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know, but I felt like at least I'm starting fresh and got rid of all of that. I do have another community that I started a long time ago. It's a spamming one, of course. Everybody just come in and post their links, members there, inviting them into the new community and also connecting with them to become friends. So I've been doing, just started getting my Google Plus going again, or got it started, and you know, I like watching one video, so I've already added 100 people now, and I want to go back through them and this coming week and kind of sort them out and find out exactly if they're who I really want. Because a lot of them, I don't know, there's just certain people I rather prefer to talk to than others. And when I went to this one group, if I can't read your name, I'm not even going to add you to my friends list. If I can't even pronounce your name, it's really hard. And I guess that's just the country girl in me. So it's taken me a little bit more, you know, for them to go in and say, oh, just click on everybody. I'm like, but I don't want to talk to everybody. So that's why it's taken me so long to try and find people with names I can pronounce. So I'll find a better way to do that later. So, but that's every day, something, every single day. I've been doing something to move forward. So, like I said, by the 17th, I should be able to start, you know, wanting to know more about posting into groups and using the teaser post and to get more eyes on my content to perk their interest. So that's where I'm at right now.
That's great. Now I know you're taking action on a I know you're taking action on a daily basis, and you're doing a great job. And you know, again, like we keep saying, it's a process, it's a journey, like Gavin likes to say, and it truly is. And it does happen if you continue to be consistent and you persevere and you know, take daily action, which you're certainly doing. Then everything is just going to fall into place. You know, maybe not, you know, tomorrow or next week or next month, but it will. And it's out there. It's on the horizon. You might not see it, you know, exactly yet, but it's there, and it's going to get closer every single day. So you're doing a great job. Just keep it up. Anyway, guys, I hope you got some value from today's Hangout. And we ran, of course, again, later than I wanted to, so my apologies for that. So I'll let you get started with your Sunday. So, excuse me, your Saturday. And my wife just corrected me. Forgot the day of the week, so that's good. And as a matter of fact, Sue, come here for a second.
No, I don't have my makeup.
Oh, she doesn't have her makeup on. Forget. I wanted to introduce you to my wife. Maybe next week. So anyway, have a great week. You know, we'll be talking to each other a lot. Here she comes. I think she's coming.
Hi, guys.
Wait a minute. There she is.
Hi.
That's my wife, Suzanne.
Nice to meet you.
Keep him in line.
Nice meeting you.
Make sure you keep him in line.
Let me grab my husband. And thank you for participating.
Very good.
Anyway, guys, I'll let you go. Go on with your day. Tamara, I'm going to stop the broadcast and just hang out for a few extra minutes with me, because I want to go over something with you. And the rest of you guys, you're free to go. We'll be chatting all week long. You know, feel free anytime you have a question, you have a prospect, you have anything, just reach out to me. You know where to find me. Okay? Have a great day, everybody.
Good to see
Take
ya.
care.
Adios.
Thanks, everybody, for joining. Talk to you soon.